Hey guys, thought I'd take a second here to finally make that movie about the juicing side of things. So what I've done is I've asked my three friends to join me today, just to go through a little bit of the juicing side, which is obviously something that I've incorporated in the last 30 days. I can't believe that today I pretty much got a week left of this. I've been at it for 24 days right now, and in a week's time I've got to reassess the whole thing and kind of take stock of where I'm at and what I feel like. Right now I can tell you I really feel like a pizza. Hey, I could really do with knocking out a pizza. Not today though, not today. You know the whole adage, not today. So I wanted to take a look and chat a little bit about juicing, and these are the juices that I get from Woolworths. These are about 19 Rand a juice. They're 250 mils. And I bring them into my diet because A, it's a good way of getting some good micronutrients into your body. It's a good way. I use a bit as a meal replacement just to keep the kind of the quality of food up, rather than just like trying to find something to fill my body with. Plus, let's be honest, the sugar content that you can get in some of these guys is enough to kind of kick you through that craving for chocolate and stuff like that. So that's another one when I'm like kind of craving sweet stuff and sugars and things like that. One of these is very easy to kind of push you over that. This little guy over here has the most. He's got 26.5 grams per 250 mils, which is exactly what this sucker is. So it's I suppose it's a healthier way. It might not be the best way. There'll probably be people out there who will argue with me about exactly what the quality is. But you know what? This here is a lot better than a chocolate bar, and it's a lot better than a donut or a Copenhagen or a Chelsea bun or something like that. So that's kind of why I use this. It might not be the best reason for you, but hey, if you've got a better example, then just please pop me a note in the comments, and so I can learn from you. So one of the reasons why I use the juicing side, and I've pulled some information off to my left over here, is obviously the reduction in calories without depriving yourself of the nutrients. You don't want to go into something like this and just, kill yourself because you have to reduce the calories that you're taking in. Even though I don't really like using the words calories, it's if you take a look at the reading in about that, calories in, calories out isn't an exact science, yet there is merit in the fact that, what you consume, you need to burn off. But you can't just hide behind calories in, calories out, because the tracking of calories can be very detrimental and also be very inaccurate. So typically what I'll do is I will use these as a combination. So that might be a meal, or that might be a meal, or that might be a meal for me. So that's what I typically do in a meal. And then what I do is I take these bottles. This one over here, this is just full of water, and I have a bit of a cooler bag that travels with me. So what I'll typically do is I will pop 2 of these, and that'll be like, let me see if I can get that squeezed in for you, and you can see, you're not going to see all of it, but there's breakfast, and then there's like get the water up during that time. Sometimes we're not hungry, we're just thirsty. So that's the whole idea, keep your water up there. And then there's maybe a lunch. And then obviously at the end of lunch, what happens is that we'll have another 2 bottles of water, just kind of keep everything flowing quite nicely over there. And then tack on at the end, we've got another 2 over there for like a dinner. And then in the evening, again, just a little bit of water, not too much, or else you're going to pee like a racehorse. But typically that's what you can kind of do. And if you do it for a long, prolonged period of time, you can have some interesting results. I once did a 4-day water fast where I just had water for 4 days. And once you're past day 3, you get into this kind of euphoric state where your body just totally changes. There is some science that points to the fact that the bacteria in our gut biome has an interesting way of also being able to manipulate our emotions and cause cravings. And typically after about 3 to 4 days of starving your gut biome of those kinds of the things it needs to survive and grow, Like if all of a sudden your gut biome, you hit a bad patch, you've had a bad day of work, a boss shouted, there's a stress, there's a deadline you might meet, the stress climbs higher, and so tie that in with all of a sudden your gut biome saying like, I really feel like some sugar right now, and then you're kind of like racing towards some really bad dietary decisions. Once you've gone through that piece, and I kind of hit day 4, all of that stopped, and my body felt so good not having eaten after 4 days. The only reason I stopped was I would find myself chewing, just like chewing on nothing, chewing on my teeth and my saliva, because of the fact that I now missed this chewing sensation. I wanted to eat something, I wanted to chew something, so I would sit there and I caught myself in the car. I was like, what are you doing, Brian? You're like, so like that kind of thing kind of got me. But I know people who've gone for like 2 weeks just on a water diet. That's massive calorie restriction. I don't think I'd ever do that. There's no point for me in that way to do that. What you want is you want to keep the nutrients coming in, some nutrients. I'm not saying this is the best nutrients, but you want some nutrients coming in because of the fact that you don't want to just be eating donuts. Or you could, if you were really tracking calories, you could do the Twinkie diet where you could eat just Twinkies and lose weight. But you want to get the good stuff in. Take a look at the Twinkie diet. There was a professor in the States who did the Twinkie diet, lost a whole lot of weight on Twinkies. But what I did was I also got some information over here, because a lot of people will say, well, Brian, you're going to blow a whole ton of cash on these. I mean, this whole thing over here, there is like 100 rands worth of juice over here. So if you're doing, it's about 120 rand a day maybe. So if you were going to go ahead and do 120 rand a day, then Brian, like after a week, that gets pretty expensive. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. That gets very expensive. But if you go ahead and take a look, and I've just gone to our local retailer, Takealot. So bing, not paid for endorsement, just took it as a place people in South Africa might be more familiar with. And you go and have a look. There's the Russell Hobbs juicer that's currently seems to be on special for 699 rand. That's a centrifugal juicer. So that's almost like one of your the lowest quality, or the lowest, that's the device that you would be able to use to juice to get the lowest nutritional content out of your food, is a centrifugal juicer. And that one would cost you like 700 rand. Let's just say that. So how many days of juicing would you have to go through before you hit the 700? Well, you'd be about a week. So if you were someone that was like juicing as like a massive part of your diet, then yeah, that's probably a good idea. But if it was something where you're going to do it like, yeah, maybe once a week or for a few days every so often in the year, then there's no point in buying yourself a juicer. You might as well go this route. Because let's face it, one of the reasons why I haven't bought a juicer is because A, the one I want is phenomenally expensive. The other one is the time it takes to wash and clean all that stuff adds up. The time it takes to get all the food, clean all the food, juice all the food, all that's time, and there's expenses in that. So that's that one. So that's one of the reasons for me this makes a lot more sense, because it's not a massive part of my diet. The other one is like the Oscar juicer is probably one I would be looking for. Now the Oscar DA1000, that's Delta Alpha 1000, that's 7,985 rand. Just let that sink in. How many weeks worth of juice would you have to go through and clean up and buying the juice and all that other time for you to hit 7,985? $20. I'd rather go pick one of these suckers up, and $40, and there's a meal for me. And the convenience. Now, again, maybe the nutritional content will be better, Brian, than this. But at the same time, it's not, my juicing isn't necessarily the cornerstone. I need it to carry me through the next few days. We've got here the Farre juicer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. That's F-A-R-R-E juicer. That's a masticating juicer. Got to be careful with pronouncing that one. A masticating juicer, that's a manual one. So you have to manually crank the arm. And that's like about 800 rand. to get that one working. So that one might also work. That would be one if you don't have low electricity, you can still juice. The Champion Juicer was the first one I got introduced to when I started taking a look at the diet that sits behind Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracie diet. And I got the book called The Gracie Diet. And they use the Champion Juicer as part of their diet, and that was the one. That's 7,595 rand. Again, you're making a lot of juice before you pay that sucker off. They've got the Severin Juicer, which is a smaller version of that. That's 3,300. So you can take a look at it. I mean, there's one juicer out there. I didn't find the link for it. I just thought it was ridiculous. There's about 19,000 South African rand. Again, that you're making a lot of juice before you're going to start getting the benefit, the payoff of that. I mean, if you've got the cash to blow, why not blow it? Cool. If that's going to make you happy in your life, then do that. But for my life and for what I'm doing and the juicing that I'm doing over here with these bad boys, it makes no sense. If I'm going to do juicing for 3 days a week every month, it sits 100 rand. So it would cost me 1,200 rand a year to juice if I did it according to this at a rough estimation. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. It would be 300 rand for 3 days. About 300 rand, 400 rand for 3 days. 400 times 12. Let's actually do this. 12 times, I'm not the math genius. I'm lazy like that. It's 4,800 rand. So in a year, I would have spent 4,800 rand on juices. And I would have saved time, etc., etc. So yeah, you argue with me backwards and forwards in the comment if you want, but that's just the decision that I've taken. So guys, I hope this helps you out. I hope this is beneficial. I've got 7 days left before we reevaluate everything, and right now I'm kind of feeling I want to stick quite close to this and kind of make this a bit more of a part of my life. I'm feeling a heck of a lot better. I don't feel so tired. I'm not crashing at 2 o'clock like I used to. I got more energy. I'm sleeping. My sleep is far better now that I've kept a lot of this stuff out of my diet. And yeah, I'm about to go and have lunch. You guys enjoy your lunch. Again, if this has been valuable to anyone, please like and subscribe in the comments and let me know if this is valuable. Please get it out to as many people. Maybe there's someone else who can benefit from this. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks so much for spending time with me today.